started. And all right, and I'm here record here. So all right.
Okay.
All right, hey everybody, this is Jordan with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm with my amazing co-hosts CJ Cabrera and Renika Wood. Hi, you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Today we are very grateful and honored to have a very special guest, Victoria Tomlinson. How you doing, ma'am?
Uh, uh, Thank you, Jordan. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm just really blessed to meet you guys. You girl, all of you.
Well, that's we're definitely very happy to to have you. For people that don't know, Victoria is a very big fan of our show and of Crohn's veteran, and so we're very grateful. Just to, for your support and love. For what we're trying to do.
I share it. Making awareness. I mean, just the love that you guys are putting out there, the compassion, and look at how much it's grown already. So I'm really proud of you guys. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It means
And
a
so,
lot.
Yeah, so first up, so you've unfortunately, or have had been living with Crohn's for a little while now, and so please tell the people out there your journey a little bit.
Okay, so I'm 68. My journey started basically when I was about 12, 13 years old. I actually had a really bad case of hemorrhoids, and I didn't tell my mom, and I didn't tell anybody. And it got to the point where as soon as the doctor saw me, he said I had to have surgery. So he wanted to take me right in then, but I was to be in a wedding. And so we waited 2 weeks. I went in the hospital, had the surgery, and I basically did not recover for 3 years. They tried every treatment, every diet, every pill, there was azolfidine back then. There wasn't a lot of drugs to choose from.
What is it? What does that do, or what was that drug kind of designed for?
It's a sulfa drug. It doesn't do like the biologics or the immunosuppressants do, and I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared for that question. Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. I was just curious. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it does reduce inflammation, though. I know that's one part of it.
Okay.
And so, but none of the drugs all these years have never worked for me. So that's been pretty lousy. But and I've taken all the way up to Remicade, and then I stopped. But anyway, let me go back. So for the 3 years, I was just like, I lost a ton of weight. I went from about 135 down to 100 pounds. And, I was only, 13. I was 5'8". Thank goodness I had grown to 5'8" because I stopped growing at that point.
Well, I'm also 5'8".
Yeah, my dad was the same height. So, anyway, it's a good height.
Right? I like it.
I'm actually now 5'6" because I have scoliosis also, and I've lost 2 inches. Anyway, so they tried every diet, everything, and then I finally, I was like dying. Finally it got to the point where my whole large intestine was completely diseased, completely gone. And so, but I had 105 fever for like 4 days. I was completely delirious. They were like, well, we can't do the surgery because of her fever. But if we don't do the surgery, then she's just going to die because my whole body cavity was, just full of, you get the picture, right?
Right.
And so, yeah. I have my friends from high school were there praying for me. My family, they were told that I probably wouldn't even make it through the night, let alone through the surgery. And actually, something odd happened. The girl in the bed next to me, I happened to be like alone, and I wasn't delirious for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The girl in the bed next to me was like, do they think she's going to make it? Talking to somebody else, and they're like, no, they don't think she's even going to make it through the night. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, I'm like, Father, am I coming home? And I just heard within me, no, you're not finished yet. So I'm still not finished.
Right.
Good news. I'm glad to be here, because they also told me at that point that I wouldn't be able to have children because I had involvement, where things were so messed up that I just wouldn't be able to carry a child, and my cervix was messed up, and with the Crohn's disease had done so much damage. Oh, I forgot to mention they did an ileostomy at that point, right? So they were saying that I couldn't have children. I was like, no, you know what? You're wrong. I'm going to have 2 children. I'm going to have a boy, and then I'm going to have a girl. And it was like, I never thought about it again. And like 3 years later, I did. I had a boy, and then I had a girl 3 years later, and I have 2 more friends and 10 grandchildren. So,
wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I guess I should mention also that when I got diagnosed with Crohn's, I also became a Christian like just a couple of months before that. So my 2 walks have been, coincide, together.
Mm-hmm.
So, people talk about what helps them get them through. That's what's gotten me through. So.
Oh, yeah, and I don't want to do all the talking here. I'll have
For me, I've had through my rough times. I've also, looked at. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. At the start of it, when I first got diagnosed, I actually turned my back at God. I was just like, what did I do to deserve this? Like I was in so much pain every day. Like I broke down. There's one time I was in the shower and I literally blacked out in the shower. And like I literally shut the shower off and I was low key crying. Called my parents, told them like to come get me, and I was just on the floor like I can't control it. I really couldn't control it. And then when I forgot, it was like one time when I was like really really bad, and I was like, God, I was like, help me, help me out. And he gave me a sprinkle of hope. He gave me a sprinkle of hope. So he kept putting little pieces there, guiding me to like start believing more. And then there was like one time where I wanted to go to a concert, and I didn't know how I was gonna do this because I was gonna eat there, and then I was gonna be there in the bathrooms. I don't know how they are, if they're dirty or not, or if I'm gonna have an attack in the middle of the concert. I'm gonna have to run across the the whole place to get there. And I literally I sat on my knees, or I kneeled down and I prayed. I was like, God, please let me go to this concert. Let me have fun. Let me eat. Let me do everything I want. And then after the concert, you can do whatever you want with me. I promise. And then, like, legit, I went to the concert. I had fun. I did everything. I did have one attack. Like, I did have to go to the bathroom. But then, like, when I went there, when I got to the porta potties, and they're like pretty dirty. So I was just like, I'm gonna tough this one out.
Right.
So I held it. So I was like, nah, I'm good. So I held it, and after that, I really didn't have any other attacks until I got home. As soon as I got to the house, my stomach's like, bathroom now.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I literally got to enjoy that concert, and I was like, that literally started to open up my mind towards him.
Yeah, he loves us. He cares about those things, I have to say, during that 3 years, that's how I met him, is because I was so desperate. I was crying out to the universe, like, what is going on? Why am I here? What is this life for? Why am I in so much pain? How, I mean, it was it was horrible. You know, I was in high school. I was like trying to go to school, which was ridiculous because I was like in and out of the hospital, and I had home teaching, you know, when I couldn't, and all this. But, you know, I remember driving to school and parking and running to the bathroom, you know, the closest bathroom, and just, you know, trying to be this normal girl. And I just, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, that's, you know, that's where I was at exactly. You know?
Right.
Yeah, and that's where my answer came. Actually, I met these teenagers that were just like shining, you know, they were just like so bright and full of joy. And I was like, oh, I want that, you know? And you know, and they told me, you know, that it was Jesus. And I, you know, I met the Father, and I've been talking to him ever since. And, you know, that's, yeah, that's my story there. But,
well,
yeah, Crohn's is so horrible, right?
Right. Yeah, my story is, you know, it's interesting because, you know, my parents were very religious, or very I I guess, you know, pretty religious people. They both grew up in church. They both kind of, I said, like almost like 8 days a week, that kind of thing. And so like, but my brother and I, we didn't. They, you know, for some reason, I think they kept the religion to themselves, type thing, and they just didn't, and they just didn't share it with us, you know. So it was not. It was just like they could. So it felt like we got kind of all the morals of the right and the wrong and all that kind of stuff, but not the infrastructure around it.
Right.
And so by the time I kind of found out about what even, you know, these various religions were and stuff, it was almost like I was looking at it from like a academic theology kind of, you know, like viewpoint. And so because I have all these tattoos and stuff, and so I had this, you know, really strong interest in, you know, different cultures and mythologies and stuff like that. But as far as any one, you know, religion or any of that kind of stuff, that's not something that that I'm into. But, you know, but I have a strong respect and admiration for, you know, for people that have, you know, found you know, that kind of solution for their own lives. And, you know, because it can make people very, very happy and very at peace and stuff like that. And so, you know, so to me, it's kind of like, you know, to each their own. I have no judgment type thing, and
right.
no opinion. Excuse me,
right.
no opinion.
Yeah, I you know, I don't go to church or anything like that. I just like, I mean, not that I wouldn't. It's just that I wasn't brought up, you know, in religion at all. And
right. So what got me through actually was just, you know, you're talking about your kids and stuff, you know, my family, you know, and so I just, you know, I'm fortunate, you know, to have, you know, just a really cool family that's very, very, very supportive, you know. And so like I can call a lot of people and, you know, and feel loved and supported, you know.
That's so
and so now not only that can like literally help me, you know. And so that's kind of what I've leaned on. And so, you know, so the times when I'm really, really sick or really, really upset, you know, I can, you know, I've never felt like I'm alone in the world. But, you know, kind of the last couple of years, I decided to, you know, finally, I'm going to kind of share my story here and though. So,
right.
Kind of come out of my shell a little bit. Renika?
Yeah, I'm just listening right now. This is good because Victoria, listen to you speak. You know, you and I have had a lot of interactions in our inboxes together. Like, I think you have the most gentlest, sweetest spirit that I really admire a lot.
You
definitely. So through the course of you being initially diagnosed up until now, you've had a lot of transitions, I can imagine, with coming from the medication you mentioned earlier to now they have all of the Stellaris, the Humaras, the Remicades, and they have the Entyvios, they have all of those other biologics. You've seen probably a conglomerate amount of different medications since you probably have been diagnosed with Crohn's.
right.
And what are you on any type of medication regimen now? Like what's keeping your health at bay right now at this moment?
Well, okay, so I stopped taking the Remicade in like 1990, and I don't know. I just don't feel right. I don't know what to say about the immunosuppressants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think they're kind of on the right track. I don't know. You know, I don't have any inflammation. Right now, I actually, in 2018, they said I had a 4-inch space of a portion of inflammation, so active disease. This was January 2018, and they wanted to put me on Stelara. And I didn't go on it because I didn't feel right about it. But the reason I didn't feel right about it is because I'd been having bladder infections for like about a year before that. I was still having them. They seemed to be, back to back. And I read on Stelara, it said, if you have an infection, you better not, it's really a bad news if you're on Stelara. It can really go wrong.
Right.
And so I didn't take it. So I'm really glad I didn't, because I continued having those. In fact, that's what's a problem right now. It evidently my bladder is involved, and I have like fistulas that they're trying to determine right now if they're active. I have to have this special, I've had two MRIs. They have to do another MRI called a Tesla 3. And they actually put you out for this one, and they can it's only like a 20-minute x-ray of imaging, but they can get like precise detail. And they're doing the blood work and all. My insurance won't cover the gold standard for finding out inflammation. And so they're going about it with the blood tests. And so we're looking for that. And then I have my surgeon's referral, but they might be sending me to California, to Cedars-Sinai, where I was a year ago for my ileostomy, my second ileostomy. I should kind of backtrack and let you guys know what happened. I actually had the ileostomy for 15 years, right? They told me it was temporary, but nobody would touch me. Everybody that saw me was like, no, you're good. We're not touching you, and we're not doing nothing there,
Right.
And so 15 years later, I had a kidney stone the size of I measured on my finger, and it was like the size of a peanut. It was like,
wow.
Yeah, it was lodged in my kidney, and they didn't want me to pass it all, break it up, right? I can pass it because that's what they were doing then, right? So I was at a LA hospital, and they were able to send me to UCLA hospital, where they could do an x-ray and pluck it out whole. I have like a tiny, tiny scar. And but while I was there, I said, hey, Gastros, can you check me out and see if you can put me back together? And they did, and they said, you look great. Everything looks wonderful. Sure. So they hooked me back up right then.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 1984, right? And I went along pretty much a lot in remission. I mean, I've had, in that 15 years, I had some revisions. I had my stoma revised. I had a section of, disease taken out. I had almost died from pancreatitis. I had laminectomy back surgery, kidney stones again. I had lots of other stuff happen. But the Crohn's, when I was pregnant 4 times, I was completely healthy. Had great health during my children's lives when they were little, all that. And stress has been my big stress is the one that has brought me down, right?
Yeah, me too.
So when stress came back in my life, so I got hooked back up in 84. So when stress came back in my life a few years later, like 5 years later, I almost died again. I got so ill from it. But I was able to come back on that one without surgery or anything, and without medication. And mainly, I've been doing cannabis since I was 28, which has the only reason I'm sitting here right now, it takes my symptoms. I would be in bed, somebody would take care of me today until I have my surgery, and maybe even after. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't even be getting up. I'm telling you, that's how it is.
Right.
And so also, so when I had that inflammation in 2018, last summer when I was coming off of a pain medication that I'd been on since 96, so like 23 years. No reason to go off of it, just decided to go off of it. Dumb me. But it really affected me adversely. And I moved from Hawaii back over to here. The doctors didn't know me. They didn't have any idea what was going on. And between that and having 2 strictures and a fistula and these other ones that I didn't even know about, right? I lost 75 pounds last year in like 3.5, 4 months.
Wow.
And ended up just, half dead. I mean, I got to the point where I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand for more than like 2 minutes, literally timed 2 minutes. Lifting up my tablet was too heavy. Holding my phone was too heavy. I was so bony and so skinny. It was horrible. And the doctors in Oregon, if I would listen to their advice, I wouldn't be sitting here, because they saw the stricture, nothing was getting through the intestine, barely dripping through, told me to go home and eat and come back in 3 months, right? Mm-hmm. And so thank goodness I had that connection down in Cedar Sinai, because when I was in Hawaii, they would send me there because they didn't know what to do with me. And they sent me down there, and within 7 days I was having my ileostomy. But see, I didn't get well after the ileostomy this time. I've been sick this whole year because of this other problem that nobody has detected. So we're all trying to figure out what's going on now. So yeah, so I can get better, But I don't have any inflammation right now. So the roundabout answer to your question, is I'm only doing cannabis. And last year, I believe, there's no other explanation besides prayer and cannabis why that inflammation was healed. Because when they x-rayed me in 2019 for the surgery and everything, they said, you don't have any inflammation. And I asked them like 2 or 3 times. I was like, but last summer when I was going through all that, I did like really concentrated high doses of THC, because that's what I read would help heal the inflammation. And I don't,
You did that in oil?
Yeah, I did oil. I was doing oil last summer. I was eating. I made butter. I was eating it. I was smoking. I was just continually all day for like 3 months or so.
Okay. That's awesome. Like I was thinking about Crohn's. As you were sharing these things about your pregnancies with no inflammation, beautiful pregnancies, beautiful mom during the course of your children growing up. And then, bam, here we go, another interjection. As you were sharing, I was imagining that Crohn's has no face. Like, it can attack any part of your body. I mean, it doesn't matter if you got this going on, that going on. And as females, I always tell the guys this, as females, we have different components of our bodies that really interfere with our Crohn's. So with our GI system, then you have the cervix, then you have our bladder that can have a fistula that can have an opening from your bladder. And because we're females, that infection in that other part gotta go somewhere. So it may attack your cervix. Then they're going to have all these type of recto-vaginal fistula restrictions. Then he go the ovaries. This is so much for females, I'm telling you, but nothing about the guys. But I know for us females, we know how our Crohn's attack our bodies significantly different. And it's very, 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 it can be at times a little, it can really affect our self-esteem and self-confidence, because you're like, dang, today is going to be a good day or a bad day. So whenever we have these good days, I try to just, at least for me, manifest more better days so I can keep on staying in the mindset that I'm in. But I'm just happy you can share about your journey. You are a warrior.
I feel like
You are a warrior, Victoria.
I think I'm the grandma here, right?
You are a warrior.
I thought it was fun.
The Crohn's
What was
veteran.
I said, Fatboy Sims said she is really strong. Can't believe she went through all of that.
That's one our viewers say that about you, Victoria.
Yes, on Twitch.
You know, I'm kind of like all over the place trying to tell my story. I hope it's not confusing, but
we good. We can follow. We can jump on this train. We can follow over here. We with you. We follow with you. We there with you.
And then
right.
Shamika Wood said, Sonia, get some edibles.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You know what? The thing is, I was thinking today is like, I can buy the edibles at the dispensary and stuff, but I'm really old school edibles or what I'm about. I mean, like, I'd rather make them myself or some, because then you'd really,
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
I'm in a doctor outside of the practice. She asked me, not my doctor I have now, she said, have you ever considered smoking marijuana for your inflammation? I was like, she said, that's the question. I was like, no. I think because in my profession, I'm an addiction therapist.
Right.
So me having Crohn's and me utilizing marijuana to help my chronic illness, and me also working with individuals who have addictions to marijuana. It doesn't say, no, it's different because there's more for the pleasure principle, not for the actual principle of the holistic approach. It makes sense. So I could say, y'all, today I'm gonna go ahead and have me edible before I go to work. I can't do that. So I'm kind of like in a teeter-totter imbalance with me right now.
Right. You could
What
just.
What about CBD?
CBD, right.
Because CBD doesn't have any psychoactive effects.
I told you about my CBD experience. I don't know, but CBD, I think this is water. Wait, no, back it up. I think
Rita was not feeling the CBD. Like
CBD is really good.
Oh, it is. CBD is amazing. I want to try CBG also, but CBD.
Oh, yes. CBG is good too.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like CBG is, it's supposed to be really helpful for inflammation in particular.
And ulcerative colitis and destroying cancer cells or preventing them. I believe something like that.
Yeah. I wanted to have the facts with me, and I do. There's a book called the Cannabis Pharmacy.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite, and that it explains why or how the interleukin-2, these different CB1, receptors and all, and it explains exactly how it reduces the inflammation. That's why, I wasn't, just going, I just think I'll just try this and see if it'll work. Right. I'm basing this on fact, going, okay, I'm going to, they're doing the testing. I'm going to do the testing, Right. And so my doctor actually is on me right now. He wants me to go on medication, even though I don't have any inflammation, which really, I'm like, why, So we still have to have that conversation, and I'm hoping he'll still be my doctor, but I really don't want to go on the immunosuppressants,
You have a right to make your own decision about your own medical practices. I always say this, no one can tell you how you feel. I preach that all the time, because when someone says, Victoria, how do you feel? You said, well, right now on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 10. But reality, they don't know what a 10 really feel like to them. So I'm always about self-advocacy and being able to have your voice to be heard, because you know how you feel and what you're doing to help you along the way to make you feel better. You don't know if will have you in the bed, will have you nauseated, more nauseated, will have you not able to get up and spend time with your grandchildren. You just never know. So my thing is that do whatever's working best for you. That's how I look at it. It's my motto.
Right? If it doesn't hurt, if you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself, more power to you. Type thing, there's definitely, a lot worse things you could be doing with your time than,
Right. Yeah.
I agree. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the gastro, I was like, he's a new gastro for me too, and I just met him, and I actually have done all this without having a medical marijuana card, but, he's like, is there anything I can do for you? He asked me like 4 times. Or he was like, I'm so sorry that you're feeling so bad. He was like super compassionate, really nice guy. And he was like, is there anything I can do for you? And I was explaining, about the cannabis and stuff. He just made out the form and gave it to me. And so, I have my form and I found out I thought I had to be like $300. I can get it for like $20,
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have my MasterCard. Yeah, that's going to be cool because I can get stuff for less. So
that's awesome.
that'll be awesome.
North Carolina, we don't have that in North Carolina. Yeah, I guess
Nebraska's a big negative on all that here.
So you guys are all in Nebraska?
Nope.
I'm in North Carolina.
I'm in Virginia.
You're in Virginia. And all 3 states don't have it?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys.
I'm trying to move to Maryland where it is legal medically.
Yeah.
So.
And so I think we've considered just to be able to have that as an option, like thinking about moving too for that reason. So.
Right. Have you ever heard of the movie on YouTube, Illegally Alive?
No.
I haven't heard that.
What's his name? Colton, I believe is his name, a young teenage boy, tried every medication for Crohn's, was just dying. He got every side effect from every medication, and he got the worst every single time. It was just horrible what this poor kid went through. And so they had to make a decision to go across state lines and do this for him and everything. And, anyway, now they're actually, so cannabis is the only thing that's keeping this boy alive. He's not on any other medications either. And they actually are raising money for research on cannabis for this purpose.
I read his story.
That's what I want to do too,
Yeah, I read his story, but they have a movie out about him now because I read his story on a blog I was reading about a Crohn's blog I was reading about a year and a half ago. But I never knew they had a movie about it. But what's it called? Illegal Life?
Illegally Alive. He says, I'd rather be illegally alive than legally dead. That's what he said.
They remind me of the story about Charlotte's Web, the little girl who having all those seizures, grand mal seizures, and her parents took her from the state they were to, I think, Colorado. I could be wrong, and they made a strain of CBD. THC for her seizures, and they decreased. So they wanted to call CPS on the parents because the parents took her out from where they were because she was underage to give her. I think it was THC. I could be wrong. So similar stories. So I'm definitely look at Illegally Alive. I'm watching that probably tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like an hour long. It's excellent. There are lots of great things about Crohn's. It's like, it's really educational.
Cool. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think I think it's about time to wrap things up here. I think a little bit, but first things first, Victoria. Thank you very, very, very much. For your time today. I really appreciate it. And so
we all do.
Definitely. It's just so good to see be able to talk to you verbally as we do now, because we have a lot of interaction. I see in our inbox, and you're just such a sweet, beautiful person. Like,
thank you.
I said, y'all know Victoria. I said, y'all know Victoria. She was like, yeah, I know.
I know. I'm sorry if my deal was too much right at first. I was like,
no, you're fine. You're fine. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And so, for everybody listening, please support Crohn's Veteran. We're very grateful for your support. You can check us out at www.crohnsveteran.com. Our podcast is on Anchor. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Google Podcasts. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crohn's Veteran. You can check out CJ at Chill Ghost on Twitch. So we're out here. We have a Teespring store. We're gonna have some new stuff coming soon for the holiday season for that. So please check us out and support our brand. We appreciate it. And again, Victoria, thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. I love you guys.
Good luck to you.
Okay.
I will see you later.
Her socials or anything if anybody wants to find her.
Yeah, Victoria. Tell the people where they, if they want to, find, if they want to find you, how they can do that.
So I'm Instagram is life_in_victory. I kind of play on my name. My name is Victoria, and Facebook is Victoria Brown.
Cool.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. Awesome, guys.
Everybody heard that?
Hit her up. Hit her up. And support Victoria and everything she's trying to do. And
thank the people that commented. That was really awesome. I really appreciate that.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. We're trying to do more, more stuff around that. And so, we definitely appreciate, everybody engaging with us. It's why we do this. And
Right
so,
on.
Thank
Right on. All right.
Happy Veterans Day to Jordan and CJ.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Shamika said try CBD too.
Yes, I have, and it really helps. It does. Yes, I need it.
Yes. Okay.
I need it. Yes.
Take care.
All right, cool. All right. I say later, Victoria.
All right.
Okay, see you
Thank you
later.
for coming. It was really nice meeting